Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Eric with OzoneTCG. Today we're taking a look at the Labyrinth theme that was just revealed for Tactical Masters. If you guys know, Tactical Masters is one of the new side deck, kind of side booster sets, having the Valiant monsters as well as the Ruins, Mysterious Ruins in some translations. Before we get into the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Let's go ahead and take a look at these cards. First off, we have what looks like the boss monster. It looks like all these guys revolve around traps. First off, we have one of the cover cards of this set. This is Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, level 8 Dark Fiend. These are all Dark Fiends as well. You can only use the 2 and 3 effects of this card once per turn. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to the activation of your normal trap cards. So say that you activate something like a Trap Trick, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Fire Lake of the Burning Abyss, something like that. Your opponent can't chain something like Borreload Savage Dragon. They won't be able to whatsoever. It'll resolve properly. Then you can target a normal trap card in your graveyard set to your field, but it cannot activate unless you control a Fiend monster. So usually you'll have Labyrinth, the Silver Castle, on your field to activate it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Eldritch in that it's revolving around playing some trap cards, but instead of continuous trap cards and a continuous spell, these are going to just revolve around normal traps. And then the third effect, if an effect monster leaves the field due to your normal trap effect, you can destroy one card your opponent controls or one random card in their hand. That is a really strong effect, especially the hand destruction effect. There aren't any decks right now that care, that trigger if they're destroyed by card effect in the hand. One of the old decks, Fire King Cosmo, is one of the decks that would intentionally destroy cards in the hand. Would be really cool to see that deck pop up, kind of in retaliation of this, but I don't think it really has a place in the game. But that is a really, really strong effect to destroy a random card in the hand. It's almost like a traditional effect as well. Even though it's once per turn, it is during both players' turn, since it's a trigger effect. You can pulse their monster, cool. You send it back to the hand, maybe destroy it, or destroy another card in their hand. Often some of those key cards. I think this is a really, really great way to start out the theme, especially with all those chainable traps. And then next up we have a Mon of Labyrinth. It's a level 7 Dark Fiend, and we can only use each effect once per turn. If a trap card's activated, you can special summon it from the hand. Level 7, 2800 defense. I'm not sure if that's too relevant, but it is nice to see that it is any trap card from what I'm seeing on this translation during either player's turn. So say your opponent activates Impermanence during your turn, cool, you can special summon it. You activate Impermanence your opponent's turn, cool, now you can special summon it. If it's special summon, you can set a normal trap card that can only be activated during attack declaration directly from your deck. This effect is not great. Really, you're just going to set something like Mirror Force or like Magic Cylinder. This is not really relevant effect, honestly. I can only see that the special summon effects, if you would ever play this card in any other version, pure version of the deck, maybe 1 or 2 at most, maybe not even at all, if you play this with some kind of mix. The game's 400 attack for each triple trap card in your graveyard. Also, your opponent cannot declare attacks on your monsters except a Mon of the Labyrinth. Not super relevant effect either, but it is nice that it does gain that attack. Again, I don't think this is a great effect, but yeah. Cool card. I like the artwork. I like the artworks of all these cards, but the special summon effect is interesting at the very least. And then next up we have the first servant, Ariana, Servant of the Labyrinth, a level 4 Dark Fiend. Can only use each effect once per turn. If it's normal summoned or special summon, you can add a Labyrinth card from your deck to your hand except itself. Really strong Stratos effect, 2100 defense, which is kind of relevant for a level 4 monster. And then if an effect monster leaves the field due to your normal trap effect, so it looks like it's either your opponent's card or their monster or your monster due to your normal traps. Say you can pulse your own monster or anything like that. Any kind of trap cards like that, you can draw a card and you can either special summon one Fiend from your hand or set one spell and trap card from your hand. So you just get to draw a card each turn. Seems really strong. I know we actually don't have the other servant currently. That's going to be probably the last card revealed for the set. Same with like how Ruins haven't had their last card revealed, and Valiants just had their final card revealed. It's like the Senate Switch Searcher. We'll be seeing that last card pretty soon. But yeah, you definitely want to be playing 3 of this card in your deck, whether it be kind of an engine deck. You could theoretically play this with something like Ruins or Adventure. Definitely in the pure version of this deck. This is able to be played pure because it searches any Labyrinth card, not just a trap card. So you can add your monsters, you can add your traps, you can add your spells. This is a really, really strong card. I am glad that they have this. And 1600 attack is fine. That's cool. Glad that it is a level 4 for that toolbox effect, and rank 4 options, sync array options, etc. And then next up we have the Chandelier of the Labyrinth. It's a level 3 Dark Fiend, kind of like a pseudo Burning Abyss. As a quick effect, you can only use each effect once per turn. Quick effect, you can send it from your hand or field to the graveyard, then discard a card. Set a Labyrinth spell or trap card directly from your hand or deck. That's a really interesting effect. I don't think we have really an effect like that, especially for a quick effect. I don't see it being super great unless you have cards that do things in the graveyard, like Breakthrough Skill or Skill Prisoner from 2014. Or any other kind of normal traps that do something in the graveyard if they banish themselves as cost to do something, or something like Paleozoics. That's really the only kind of card you'd want, or something for like a Burning Abyss card. You could do that and then gain some advantage. It is level 3. You can Tour Guide it. Don't really think you would want to, but at least you can set any spell or trap, and it's not just trap. It's probably going to be a 3 of either in an engine or a pure version of the deck. Then if an effect monster leaves the field, do your normal traps effect while this card's in the graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So you just keep adding it every turn and then send it. It can put itself in the graveyard, of course. You can use the effect in the same turn from what I'm reading. A really, really strong card. I do think you play at least, probably play 3 of these just to get all your Labyrinth spells and traps in your field, because they are going to be the cards that you need first and foremost to be able to play your engine besides your other normal generic traps. And then next up we have Stove of the Labyrinth, a level 2 Dark Fiend. You can only use the effects once per turn. It's a quick effect. You can send it from your hand or field to the graveyard, discard a card, set a Labyrinth spell or trap directly from your deck, hand or deck. So same effect. That's pretty cool. Exact same thing. You can discard Stove and Chandelier together and then proc them. Then the other effect is similar, except you special summon it instead of adding it to your hand. So really you don't lose that much advantage from discarding one or the other for the other's effect, or even 2 Stoves or 2 Chandeliers for their effects. I think this is still a solid card too. I would still probably play at least 2 or 3 in engine or pure version of the deck. Solid cards all around. And then we have the Cuckoo Clock of the Labyrinth, a level 1 Dark Fiend. Quick effect, you can discard it, and then this turn, while you control Labyrinth monster, you can activate 1 normal trap the turn it is set. So that is really, really important. This comes in handy with something like Traptrix, Shade Brigandine, that kind of interaction with Traptrix Sarah. The fact that you can activate any normal trap, it doesn't have to be a Labyrinth trap specifically. You do need a Labyrinth monster, but the ability to search that, you can go something like normal summon your level 4 and then add, the level 8, or add a trap and then go from there. Really, 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 really strong play. And then you can go ahead and activate whatever set trap you have. That seems really, really strong. And then if a card is sent to the graveyard in order to activate a Labyrinth card effect or a normal trap, except Cuckoo Clock of the Labyrinth, while it's in the graveyard, you can add it to your hand or special summon it. Okay, so you just, if it's in your graveyard, you say you discard for Chandelier or Stove. You can special summon it or add to your hand. Seems really nice. Yeah, I think this card's really good, especially because it's searchable off of that pure raise map. Not that you necessarily want to, normal summon it, but you could go something like, normal summon this, activate Shade Brigandine, special summon it, special summon the level 8 from the hand, and then go from there. Something like that. I don't think it has... there's probably a way to really use this first effect. Probably a way to search it besides just going level 4 and then summon level 8 and going from there. But this seems like it has a lot of ways to abuse it, especially because this will get future support in main decks or in main core sets. So I'm sure they're going to base the support around this card. This seems like one of the best ones in addition to level 4 and level 8. I guess we'll have to see where this goes. Alrighty, next up we have Labyrinth. Labyrinth. The field spell can only use each effect once per turn. If you activate if you activate a set Welcome Labyrinth normal trap, so that's a type of normal trap. That's one of the theme cards that they have. Hey, you can make it gain the following effect: destroy a card in the field. Okay, so that's how you buff all of your normal traps to get the effects for your lower level monsters. Okay, that's really cool that it buffs all your traps. That's nice. And then if you activate a normal trap card except a Labyrinth card, special summon a fiend from your hand or graveyard, and that is any fiend. So you can revive something like Scarb and then destroy it and phase search your level 3, your Chandelier. I really like this card. It's sad that it doesn't search, but I think you still play at least one of these because it is searchable, to go ahead and get that buff and to recur your fiends, especially if you play other fiend monsters like higher level fiends that are harder to summon, whether they be something like, I don't know, Diablos. Theoretically play something like or not Diablos, there are other higher level fiends, Dark Worlds. I don't know if you play those in this, but yeah, I think this has a lot of potential because of that ability to special summon a fiend, and because you can activate the trap cards once per turn with the level 1, so that's really, really cool. Alrighty, next up we have the quick play spell Labyrinth Setting. You can only activate it once per turn. You can target 2 of your Labyrinth cards that are banished or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then you can control a fiend monster. You can set normal traps with different names except Labyrinth cards equal to the number. Okay, that's really, really nice. So you recycle your cards for free, and then you can set any normal traps. This seems like a really nice Burning Abyss card too. It's kind of the trap version. You know, say you mill any of your Labyrinth cards at all. You do have to target 2. Okay, let's see. So you have to target at least 2. It can't be just 1, or 2. It does have to be exactly 2, and then say it gets decoded while you still get the effect. Okay, so, but you can still set any normal trap, which is good, at least for the 1-for-1, and being able to do it during the opponent's turn. Seems like a really, really strong effect, but I don't know how good it is with the rest of this deck. I'd have to kind of test out the support, see how relevant it is. I don't see it being relevant right now, but I could see it being a lot better later on. This also shows us the Pink Servant. So we actually don't have this card yet, but it looks like we're going to get that card either as the last card revealed, or as a future support card. Really interesting. We have the green one, as you guys saw, but that's a level 4, so there's a good chance that this one will also be level 4 too. Alrighty then. Alrighty, and then we have the first of the Welcome Labyrinth traps. We have Welcome Labyrinth. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. Special summon a Labyrinth monster from your deck. Also until the end phase, you cannot special summon from the deck or extra deck except fiend monsters. Okay. Oh, it's going to be end of the next turn. Okay, so it's kind of like a dogmatic punishment restriction. That seems really strong, especially because the level 8 is just free at that point. You kind of just sit on that card. That seems like a Scarlet Sanguine. You just get a Labyrinth monster from your deck. You can do whatever you want with it. There's some okay fiend, like Link monsters, Xyz, Synchros, etc. But it seems really strong just for that first effect. You also will get a buff. You get to destroy a monster with the field spell. Pretty cool. Yeah. Effect monster leaves the field to your normal trap card effect while it's in the graveyard. You can set it. Okay. So you just get to recycle it with your buffed normal traps. Seems pretty good. Just again from the first effect, it doesn't really matter for the voting effect, but you can recycle them. Yeah, I think these are cool. It's a really cool card, and again, because it's Welcome Labyrinth, and then we have the Fair Welcome Labyrinth. So this is the second of the Welcome Labyrinth cards. During attack declaration, while you control a fiend monster, you can target a card in the field, negate that attack, and if you do destroy that target, then you can set a normal trap card directly from your deck except a Labyrinth card. Okay, it's a battle trap. I don't think this is great though, but at least you get to destroy 2 cards with the buffed field spell. I don't think this is great otherwise, and the level 7 does get this, but it's not great. Not really worth playing either, but a cool card. I like the artwork. I just don't think it's good enough to really play in the deck at all. And then we have Labyrinth Barrage. Oh boy, another Barrage card. Jokes aside, when you activate a set normal trap except Labyrinth Barrage, this effect becomes that card's activated effect. Also, until the beginning of your opponent's next turn, reduce any effect damage you'd inflict your opponent to 0. Okay, so it's clearly anti-burn, but really you can just go something like, I don't know, any normal compulsory evacuation device. That's a card being reprinted in this set. You can go compulse and chain this, and you get 2 bounces. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think this card's okay. I definitely think you play at least one just to copy your traps, especially because you can create an advantage loop using this and Welcome Labyrinth. Yeah, this card's good. I think you definitely play this card at least as a one of, potentially even a 3 of, just to play your... Yeah, definitely a 3 of, actually. Whether it be an engine or whether it be the deck. Because it's any normal trap, doesn't have to be just your labyrinths. It also doesn't restrict your labyrinths at all. It doesn't restrict you whatsoever otherwise. Definitely a way better card than I first thought. Yeah, you definitely want to be playing this card. And then we have the non-theme card. This is actually my favorite of them because it is a straight-up Burning Abyss card. This is what we get 3 of in Trap Burning Abyss. Moving forward, once Tactical Masters is out in TCG. If you control a Fiend monster, which of course you probably will in something like Burning Abyss, or even in this deck, Labyrinth Barrage could also copy this too. Target a card on the field, destroy it, then you can send a Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. This is really good in this deck because you get to send your level 4 or lower monsters from the deck to the graveyard to add them or special summon them back depending on which one it is, get them back to your hand, get that advantage from them, or in something like Burning Abyss, cool, you get either Graph Effect, Seer Effect, Scarm Effect, Farfa, anything. It is literally another Fiend griefing. Only stipulation, you have to control a Fiend. In something like Burning Abyss, that's not going to be a problem. In something like this deck, you're only going to be really playing Fiend monsters. You're going to always have a Fiend, with this. And yeah, so this is probably the reason to play the deck, and I absolutely love this effect. Really cool. We also see, again, the Pink Servant for this, so hopefully we'll see her effect soon. But again, because you can copy this with Labyrinth Barrage, you can't search in this deck, but you can trap trick it, and you can use some of the other cards that interact with normal traps. Let me know what you guys think about this theme in the comments section below. I really find this interesting. I'm excited to test this a little more. It's going to be a more trap deck, control deck, of course, but I want to play this with something like Burning Abyss. So I may do some kind of deck profile once we have a solid idea, or once we see the other cards in this set. Last of them, and then after with the next main booster set. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is Eric with OzoneTCG. We'll see you guys in the next video.